Yes, people. What's going on? This is Talks Football. We're back again with another video. A narrow 1-0 win away at Old Trafford because of a set piece again. Ole, ole. Yes, set piece again. Ole, ole. We got to be shameless. Set piece again. Set piece again. Set piece again. Ole, ole. Yes, people. Today, we got a bunch of questions to ask. Today, we got a topic to discuss. It's the first game of the Premier League season. It's never the most polished game. Let's be 100% honest. Old Trafford away is never the easiest game either. But I predicted the score perfectly. I told you guys this was going to be a 1-0 kind of game. One of those games where you're never going to see the most scintillating attacking football. You're not going to see Arsenal going out there blitzing Manchester United, showing them who's boss the whole game. They're at home. I expect them to have a little bit more to show for it. And, I think there was a point where we basically concede possession and just say, let's see what you got. We stayed in front of them. We stayed solid. And we just said, let's see what you have and what you can bring to the table. And you know something? They really did not have much. Outside of Mateus Cunha and Mbuemo on the counter, they really did not have much, Manchester United. And I think we did a really good job trying to keep them at bay. Defensively, we had to stay solid and resolute. Offensively, we have a lot of question marks, but we're going to get into all the main topics. We're going to get into the main discussion, everything that needs to go around in today's game. But we come out of the game with a 1-0 victory. The set piece was scored early in the first 15 minutes in the game. And from once we scored, it was pretty much all Manchester United. They had more possession. They had more of the ball. They had 22 shots Manchester United took. Like, I can't even remember having too many shots that affected our goal. But Manchester United took 22 shots. They had 7 on target. David Raya today had himself a man of the match performance, in my opinion. How many saves did he have? He had 7 saves, David Raya. Fair play to David Raya. 7 saves, a clean sheet away at Old Trafford is a good way to start the season. Both Gabriel Martinelli and Saliba were solid. I thought Ben White and Ricardo Calafiori were pushing up a little bit high, which left us on the counter very suspect at times. Some people are saying it's because Partey is not there. Nah, it has nothing to do with the fact that Zubimendi is in the team. I think it's just more because the 2 fullbacks were pushing up so high up the pitch. As for the midfield, I thought both Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard were finding themselves in decent areas. It's just nothing came off for them at the end. And then the attack, Martinelli, Saka, both really didn't have good games in the final third. And gyokeres, I think, didn't even have a good first game also. The attack, all 3 of them were quite poor. Where you go over to Manchester United, there's not a Manchester United channel, but I'll be fair to them. They were a lot more threatening, I felt like. Even though they didn't score, I felt like they were constantly giving us pressure, constantly trying to get that equalizer, where it got to the point where we just said, you know what, we're going to get out of here with a 1-0 victory. And we held out and we got out of there with a 1-0 victory. A win's a win. The performance was not great. There is still a lot to improve on, but it's the first game of the season. I'm not panicked. How are you feeling, Gunnar Souls?
Yeah, I'm actually quite happy. I mean, it's 17 years since we've actually gotten 3 points and a win at Old Trafford. And that's obviously talking in the league. You can go back and look at the cups and stuff like that.
We beat them last year 1-0.
In the league?
Yeah.
Did we? I thought it was like 17 years since we... Wasn't it 1-1 at Old Trafford and we beat them at home 1-0?
Bro, I swear we beat them in 2024.
Or maybe I'm thinking of something different then. But anyway,
and we also beat them the year when Aubameyang scored the penalty.
Or maybe I'm thinking of something different then. But yeah, it's been a very long time. But we don't really do well. It's something that obviously we struggle at. We do get a lot of draws, and obviously we do kind of. It's not a stadium that we've had a lot of success in, let's say. So I don't know. Look, yes, we get giddy. Yes, we get excited. Yes, we kind of sit there and hope that we can beat them like 4-0, and have a statement performance. I think where a lot of these sort of murmurs and, kind of expectations have come from is because of Manchester City and Liverpool both scoring 4 goals and stuff like that. And people are seeing that as, oh, that's a statement. But when you actually divulge into their games as well, they've had a few problems. Same as us, we've got problems as well. I'm not sitting here and, negating the fact that this is a perfect performance in any stretch of the imagination. But we had the toughest out of the lot. So us having a 1-0 win is superb. It's a magnificent thing for us because it's a stadium that's out of the way now. So we've done Old Trafford. Now we move on to the next. And this is where the benefit of playing these big stadiums early on could be beneficial. Because the reason why I say that is when the pressure's on in the business end of the season, and let's say we need to get 3 points against a Liverpool or against a team like that, guess what happens? We then have to play them at Anfield, which is harder for us to get 3 points, or play them at Old Trafford, which is harder to get, 3 points. Now, we've got that out of the way. The pressure is like, if it's at the Emirates, it's perfectly fine. Whereas with now, like that big game done, we've won, we move on. It's never going to be a scintillating performance against a Big Six team. We know it's one of those teams, it's a rivalry. There's more to it than just being a football game. Now, we did what we needed to do. It was a jammy corner, which is probably the only way we were going to mainly score. Yes, we can, obviously we want to get into like individual performances, which we'll do later on in the show. But overall, look, I'm happy with the 3 points. Am I happy with the performance? Not really. But you got to give credit to Man United. They absolutely dominated. They did what they needed to do. And I think their fans should be happy and proud of what their team did. But to be completely honest, I couldn't give a shit. I've always said, just get me the 3 points. If the performance is good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. Whatever. Because now all of a sudden performances matter. Like, it doesn't, like, I don't understand what the fans want. Do you want 3 points or do you want performances? Because if you're asking United fans, yes, they're seeing signs of goodness, but would they have rather just played shit and won 1-0? I think they'd trade places. So,
I agree.
So, yeah, it is what it is. But obviously, I don't want to get into individuals because I know you're going to do that. So, we can kind of go on to that in a minute.
Nah, yeah. Before we go any further, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. I just think this is a pretty simple synopsis for me. Clean sheet, away from home at Old Trafford, can never be considered a bad game. A win is a win. You get 3 points. It's a fierce game. This is a team that we struggled against historically. And I'm not going to sit here and complain. Now, there is things that we can improve on, and of course, but it can be a bad performance, but it's still a big win.
Can I put it like this? First game of the season, this is arguably as bad as it can get, and we still won.
Remember last season when we played Wolves, people were panicked. You know what the best remedy to facing a big, tough away game, first game of the season is? Next game, you play Leeds. I'm not saying we're going to go and slap Leeds. I'm just saying we're going to be home cooking. We should see better performance at home.
No,
then we go away to Anfield. What a perfect way to prepare yourself for a tough environment away against a top team that's going to be challenging for a title, rather than facing another team out of the top six. And Manchester United is not the same Manchester United from a couple of years ago. They looked very, very good in attack. They were a lot more dangerous than they were a couple of years ago.
And the Leeds game is more of a judgmental game because, I'm not saying we need to beat them 5-0 to make a statement. I'm not saying any of that. But if the performance is just as bad against a team that we should really be dominating, then yes, that's an air for concern. But if we're going to talk about this game alone, it's not the game to judge them on. Anfield isn't the game.
Let me ask you a simple question. Bring it back 1 second. If you were to be told this was a good win, 1-0 away from home versus Manchester United, but then you were told the stats and you said, yeah, Man United had 20 shots. They had 7 shots on target. They had more possession, more everything. What do you care more about this early in the season? The win or the performance?
Well, we needed the 3 points because our rivals also got 3 points. So for me, that's all that matters.
So
what we don't want is, let's say that was 1 point.
Is it a good win? Is it a good win then? Or is it a bad performance?
This is a win of champions.
The question is this a good win or a worrying performance?
It's a win of a champion. Your whole team plays shit. You've been outperformed in every metric in football, and yet you win. That's the performance of champions. You dig deep. You don't turn it into a draw. You don't turn it into a loss. You go there and win it. That's what we did. It's resilience, and that's what we've been asking for. We had how many draws last season? How many times have people come on here, in the comment sections, on other streams, on other channels, right, sitting there and saying we need to turn those draws or those moments that we drew and drop points and turn them into wins. That's what we did today. Today is a game last season. We draw or we lose. That's the mentality switch that we've had. We've gone and done a champion's performance against a team that's on the up and coming. This is the worst we're going to see. This is the first game. It's only going to get better from here, man. It is what it is. People want to complain, they can complain. But it's a champion's performance at the end of the day.
Hopefully it only gets better from here.
What do you mean, hopefully? The whole team is shit. You're telling me this is the standard of this team? No. Right? No. So that's what I'm saying. It can only get better.
No, I hear that. I get that. I'm just saying, hopefully, I'm echoing what you're saying. Hopefully it gets better. It's 1 out of 38. We're done. One out of 38 is out of the way. Now we just need to hope the rest of the 38 is not as bad performances. And we're going to get into individuals' performances in a second. But before we go any further, did you think we were going to score another set piece in the opening game of the season? Set piece again. Arsenal always find a way with the set pieces. Changed it up a little bit also. It was the back post this time instead of the front post. Manchester United struggled with the set pieces last year against us, and it looked like they struggled again this year.
Yeah, I don't see anyone complaining that Palmer's not scored an open goal since January. So I'm not going to sit here and complain that we scored from a set piece. Who gives a shit? A goal to goal. You utilize everything that you have in the team. If you score a transitional goal, you score a transitional goal. If you score a penalty, you score a penalty. Who cares? The aim of the game is to win. Performances will matter. I'm not sitting here and saying I'm not going to be critical, but it's the first game, man. I don't care. Just win the game and move on. Against Anfield, are we going to sit there and go, oh, we won on a penalty? That's concerning. No, you're going to sit there and go, yeah, beat them at Anfield. That's it. That's all you care about. All I want is to win. If at the end of the season, all I do is win 1-0 every single game, I don't care as long as I'm lifting the league title at the end of it. I don't care for the performances. Just give me the trophies. And to get those, you've got to set pace. And that's what we've done. They got 3 points. We said we're matching you. We're getting our 3 points as well. And bearing in mind, out of our rivals, we had the toughest game. And we still got the 3 points because a lot of people thought we may be dropping it. Will the pressure be on? Because don't forget the narratives after Liverpool, after the City game, where they had big performances. This is going to impact Arsenal. And guess what? We still went and we still won. We still had to do it for how long? Like about a third of the game, 2/3 of the game, we still had to keep that 1-0. So regardless of the pressure they were putting on, regardless of how good they were performing, let's not be like, look, good performance by United, but it's not like they cut us open and created like a huge number of opportunities. They had maybe 1-2 clear-cut opportunities where your heart actually went, thank God. Maybe the Mbembo, maybe the Cunha, and that's about it, really. I can't think of so many clear-cut opportunities where you sat there and gone, this could have been a 7-0. It wasn't like that. It was like a 2-3 opportunities that they had, and that was about it. So, man, I'm not complaining. I don't care. People can sit there and cry all they want. I want my 3 points. I got it.
Same. All right, let's get into the next piece of content. Before we go into anybody else, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. Let's go to the team lineup. Were you surprised that Calafiori was starting? Because I wasn't, and it was good to see that Calafiori got set up, was the one that scored the first goal. Also, Declan Rice setting him up for the set piece. While we're talking about set pieces, I thought Calafiori had himself one hell of a performance.
Yeah, I mean, Calafiori is amazing, man. The guy is a good player as long as he can stay fit. That's the key to Calafiori. We know what player he is. Look at the Man City performance last season. There's multiple performances, especially in these bigger games, where he has stepped up for us, majorly stepped up for us. And I think it was the right decision. Look, I love Miles Lewis-Skelly. I think, he's an up-and-comer. He's someone who's going to become great for us. But the reality of the matter is he's still learning his trade. He's still learning his craft. And when you're looking at pre-season, and that's obviously the only indicator we have on who should be playing, Calafiori, when he played, did look better than Lewis-Skelly in pre-season. So when you're looking at match readiness and preparedness, it's the right decision to make, especially with the way we were getting pammed. When you look at Brian and Wembo, obviously we thought maybe Ahmad may be playing right wing back, but obviously he came on later on. Lewis-Skelly did a good job when he came on, but Calafiori for me was the obvious starter. Now, the only reason he probably wouldn't have started is if he wasn't quite fit enough, like as in he's coming back from a long-term injury. Obviously, if they don't deem him to be fit enough to play a game of this caliber, then that's cool. But if he's fit, I feel like he's the one who's going to start. As much as I love Lewis Kelly, there's still a few things in the bigger games that he can learn from a Calafiori, from a Gabriel, etc. But Calafiori played well, man. He locked it up. He kept he done well. Like there's no complaints from my side. It's the other players that I'm going to complain about.
Mm. People already talking shit about Havertz and all these other guys, but we're not even gonna get into that. Let me
Havertz
just
actually played well.
let me just catch up because I'm a little bit behind when it comes to the stuff. I need to say this. Everyone who's speaking about Miles or Skelly or Timber, Ben White, everything doesn't have to be like a competition. It's good that we have strength and depth. I just feel like sometimes when one player is playing well or is starting, the other player should not be. The other player gets much more criticism. Like Miles Lewis Skelly came on, he did not have the best touch, got a yellow card, and people are like, yeah, Miles is not as good as Calafiori automatically now. Let's not do that. Let's just have a balanced conversation. The guy did not have the best preseason. Calafiori's fit. If Calafiori's fit and he's performing, he plays. If Miles Skelly is fit and he's performing, he plays. Either way, it's not a thing where we need to pin the two against each other and make it into a competition between each other in each position. Every position is gonna have squad depth, and we need to get used to it. And it's not a situation where it's like this man versus that man, Havertz versus Gyokeres, Calafiori versus um, Miles Skelly, Ben White versus Timber. No, it's a team. So people need to start treating it like it. And you're gonna have enough rivals talking about Havertz being better than Gyökeres. Best believe it. I've already seen a tweet from Staffy. But yeah. Next, let's go to the super chat. Shout out to my guy. Too early for writing off Gyökeres, in my opinion. Even Florian Wirtz did not have a great game. Time to adapt to the league. However, seeing Gyökeres memes are funny. Same with Florian Wirtz. I thought it was funny that Turkey scored and Florian Wirtz didn't. Imagine if today Sesko scored to get an equalizer for Man United. We wouldn't have heard the end of it. But luckily for us, they didn't score. Sesko didn't score. He came on. He looked slightly better than Gyökeres. I thought Gyökeres out of the two strikers from both for Arsenal, I thought Gyökeres was less involved in the game because he was playing very central and we couldn't get him the ball. We didn't do a good enough job getting him involved. And at the end of the day, it's about winning. We won the game. Gyökeres did not get out of the game with a goal. He's probably upset that he didn't get a goal. But let's not act like he was out there getting bullied. I swear to you, people are online are watching a whole different game. I seen him sit for what do you call it? What's his name? The lit on his ass, and I can show you an image right here. Out wide, he created a couple good passes. Martinelli got a pass similar to how Kudus passed it to Richarlison yesterday. Martinelli tried to do a bicycle kick, didn't work for him. On another day, maybe Martinelli begs that goal. But overall, people are going to say Gyökeres had a very poor game. I think he didn't score. Outside of that, he didn't get too many touches. It's on us to get him more involved, and we didn't do a good enough job getting him touches in the box where he can take a shot. I don't think he had a shot. That's not his fault. We didn't get him the job. We didn't get him the ball. You can't really criticize somebody if you're not bringing them the tools necessary to score. But yeah, we didn't give Gyökeres the platform to score today. Quickly, let me just get to some super chats before I get back to you. Arsenal fans must know we don't do well at Old Trafford. 100%. Arsenal fans have to know that by now. Surely, if you're an Arsenal fan for as long as we all have been, you should know that it's not rainbows and sunshine away at Old Trafford. Arsenal fans were tagging themselves into Liverpool had an off day on Friday. It is swept under the carpet. And today is the Swedish Lukaku. Yeah, you know what? People are gonna banter, but that's just how it is. Chelsea all of a sudden are no longer title contenders because they drew their first game versus Palace. It's just how people are. Early sweeping comments. Extreme cope stream, y'all might out. Don't be don't be silly. Don't be silly. This is just. Thank you for the super chat, but I feel like you're just bantering and it's not even landing. At least if you're gonna banter, make it funny. Make it funny. Souls. Gyökeres did not have the best performance. Did not get a goal. What do you think?
Look, the whole team needs an adaptation period. They're not used to having a striker, someone who's going to be in the right positions. I do think this is kind of on Arteta today as well in terms of how Gyökeres' performance was ineffective. There was times where he was too deep, and the way that we need to play Gyökeres, just keep him up top. He's not Kai Havertz. He's not going to do what Kai Havertz does. When Kai Havertz came on, yeah, that made more sense to what the instructions were and everything of that nature. But when you're having Gyökeres be deep in transition, it's just weird to me. He should be on the shoulder of the last defenders, ready to counter, not the other players. The other players are better at defending, pressing, all of that sort of stuff, right? So we need to start using Gyökeres in a better way. And that's kind of where the problem today came in. But also, when Havertz came on, for some reason, we started creating opportunities that Gyökeres would have fed on. So it does. I don't know what the solution could be. I mean, obviously, we'll see as we kind of go on. But yeah, just
I thought the person who was slightly holding us back in the first half and making it more difficult for us to play the way we wanted to play was Martinelli. There was moments he looked like he was doing well. He was driving us forward, and then there was moments where I was like, "What are you doing?" And I just put out there, at least he's trying. At least he's trying. That's all I could say. At
But
least
he
he's trying.
always the issue is, look, I don't care because he always tries. I've not got look. The problem is Arsenal are going to make Martinelli the enemy because of how they just need to fucking replace the guy. I'm tired. Like, I don't want to go in on him. I don't want to sit here and slate him. But the guy's just not good enough. Off the bench, maybe, I don't know. But he should not be starting for us this season. We need to, whether it's Rodrigo, whether it's Leao, I don't care. Just go get me a left winger because it is glaringly obvious, right? That is a big problem. I don't even care. I don't even care. Don't get me Eze. Don't get me, but just go get me a left flipping winger. I need a left winger.
If he would have played Calafiori onside, that would have been an easy goal. If he would have made a better pass when making that through ball, would have maybe created another chances. And overall, I just felt like misplacing passes, very shocking. His top speed and his ability to run fast is really good, but he's not utilizing his pace to his best ability, and he's not utilizing his overall game to the best of his ability. He's misplacing passes, making bad runs, just overall, just not his best. But hey, he's 24. I don't know how much longer you're gonna coach somebody out of those things. Like,
he's willing to, honestly, as a bench.
Arteta had an interview. He said a player has to be willing to learn. The player has to have the ability, and the player has to be want to do it. So he wants to do it. He has the ability to. He wants to do it. He doesn't have the ability. It doesn't seem like, but maybe he can get coached into it. So let's see. There's motivation, there's coaching, and then there's overall desire to want to just do it. And it seems like he has everything, but it's not clicking.
He's a super sub, man. He's not a starter for us anymore. We need better. The issue is you either grow with us like Bukayo Saka has, or you get left behind like the likes of Emil Smith-Rowe have. Like, sometimes you've got to make sacrifices. Sometimes you just outgrow certain players, or certain players' roles become lessened. And that's just one of them. It's the same with Kai Havertz. Like, as good as Kai Havertz either steps up because Gyökeres has come in, or Gyökeres steps up. But one of them has, like, or both step up. It's up to them now. Like, and that's the kind of thing with Martinelli. That's why it's clear and obvious why we're not going for like the likes of Eze as extreme as we should do. Like, we're not pushing for that move because we are identifying that the left winger is more important than bringing in another 10. Because we've got Diamond who can do that, and we've got Ethan who can do that, and obviously we've got the captain in Odegaard. So they're looking at it. The left winger is more of a pressing issue, clearly. And there's only one reason, because they may like everything Martinelli does, but how long can you go with the intangibles of, him being this and that, rather than being a winger who's going to be effective in the attacking third?
Next, I was going to speak about Martin Odegaard. I thought he was ineffective on the counter also. I thought Martin Odegaard could have done better at times. But overall, the whole front three was just a little bit disjointed. Can we really blame Martin Odegaard for our poor transition play?
Odegaard was weird. Like, everything we didn't care from him, he did well. And the one thing he's good at, he did shit. Like, he was taking men on, he was dribbling, he was making opportunity, and then as soon as it comes to the final third, it just all fell down for him. Like, his passing was off. I mean, his shooting has never been really the greatest anyway, but his shooting was a bit poor as well. And it was just that brain fart. Like, he'd done all of the hard part, which we kind of... I'm not going to sit here and say I'm surprised he can dribble a ball, because of course, like, he's had that ability to, like, kind of create spaces and stuff. But his passing has always been the one thing that people credit and go, do you know what? He can create an opportunity. But today it seemed to be everything else was good, but his ability to pass. And it was just strange. Like his decision making was off. There was good moments, but again, it's just that pass at the final third was just like, I don't know what you're doing. Over hit a pass that should have really been like an easy opportunity. The one that we kind of transitioned, yes, Saka and Martinelli should have also done better with the way that they their movement and stuff like that. But at the same time, man, like Odegaard's decision making today has been woeful, absolutely woeful. But let's see, because a lot of this harshness is going to come because it's the first game of the season. But he has also been poor last season, so he needs to really step it up.
Shout out to everyone in the comment section. Let's go to the next post. The next post here is David Raya turned into David De Gea. 7 saves today, bro. 7 saves. Crazy.
Yeah.
The most saves out of every keeper this opening weekend. David Raya turned into David De Gea. I think that's fair to say. He was the man of the match, and even Sky Sports gave him the man of the match. So fair play to him. We can talk about his player rating while we're here.
Yeah, it's got to be like an 8 or a 9 because the Cunha, the Mbembo, there was so many other opportunities that they could have had where you're like, oh my god, the header that kind of came down and there was so many opportunities. Like, yeah, I think for me it's got to be a 9 today. Like the guy was outstanding, kept us in the game. It could have been a draw if it wasn't for his performance.
Solid 9. Solid 9. I agree. I think he's one of our better. But I think he was our best player by far.
Yeah, he only had one
also,
thing that kind of
he's a little bit iffy in the first half, a little bit of shaky moments with his feet, but overall got through it and got.
There was only one moment where I was like, "Oh my god, you need to cut that out."
But that was a moment where I was kind of worried. You know what? Ben White defensively solid. Moments where he went a little bit too high up the pitch, but everything else was solid. What do you think? I think solid 6.
Nah, man, he got spun so many times, man. I don't think he was defensively. So I actually don't think he was good today.
What did he go off for?
Just went off a timber, innit? I don't think. I know he had one of the doctors of physios, but he's had an injury. Right, he had an operation last season, didn't he? So it probably is just more.
All right. I'm giving him a 6. I just said solid 6.
All right, I'll go 5. There's the highest I'll go.
Let's go 5.5. Meet in the middle. Saliba, Gabriel, both for me one gets a 7, the other one gets like a 6.5.
Nah, they both get the same because there was moments where Saliba covered for Ben White, like coming out wide, dealing
I thought Saliba was the better out of the two, to be fair. I thought Gabriel Magalhaes was a little bit aggressive and the referee was giving us no love. But fair play. We still win. Who cares about the referee?
I think the centre backs are fine. I think both get a 7 for me.
No. I just think Saliba was slightly better.
Nah, I think they were both the same. They both had their moments.
All right, fair. I'm gonna give Gabriel a 7, and let me just throw a 7.5 for Saliba. Cool. And we meet in the middle. Ricardo Calafiori gets the goal. Overall performance, yellow card.
I actually thought he was fine, yeah.
Defensively was okay. I think he gets a good performance. I'm going to give him a 7.5, similar to Saliba. What do you think?
Yeah, I can agree with that, yeah.
Next, what are we doing? Martin Zubimendi.
Not the greatest of games. I mean, it was fine. I'd say like a 5 or a 6. I think he was just. He didn't control the game, which is what we expect of someone of his quality. But
it wasn't great. It wasn't great. But same time, he was getting called fouls for something that wasn't even a foul. Like, it was just stupid.
Yeah, I'd say like a 5 for me. Like, but I'm just gonna be honest about it.
I'm gonna give him a 6.
5.5.
We meet in the middle, 5.5. Same with Declan Rice. Declan Rice gets a 6.
Nah.
Outside of the corner.
Nah, man. But that's all he did. That was it. He was awful today.
No.
We have to be honest. We have to be honest. He was poor, man. Rice, for his own standard, he was poor today.
All right, I'm willing to give him 5. I didn't think he had a great game myself either.
Yeah.
Martin Odegaard, even though Martin Odegaard did not have the best of game within the final third, he was better than both Zubimendi and Declan Rice, in my opinion. So I'm going to throw a 6 for him also.
He was weird. Like everything that he did everything that we didn't expect him to do, but then the thing we expect him to do, he doesn't do.
He was our best midfielder today.
Yeah, until the pass in the final action. Yeah.
Saka underrated had a worse performance than Martinelli, in my opinion.
Arguably, both had a shit performance. Saka did one thing.
Saka is held to a higher standard. I think he gets a 5. Martinelli. Actually, if we're gonna give Martinelli a 4, I'm gonna give.
You're giving too high ratings, man. Saka was like a 3 or a 4 today. He was.
Yeah,
4.
Saka gets a 4.
It makes no difference if he played or didn't play.
Saka gets a 4. Martinelli gets a 4.
Okay, fine. We did win, but I'd
And
give him.
Gyokeres didn't get any service. He gets a 5.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Havertz came on, looked solid. He gets a 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's the end of the game. He's just there to.
Manny Madueke barely played also, but he also gets a 6. I thought he was decent. And then Timber, Mazu, Skelly, Moreno, not even going to rate them all. Fair?
Yeah, because they're on for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Arteta today gets a solid 7. Could be better. You know what? 6. Could be better. Could be a lot better.
I mean, he won the game, but it wasn't his game plan, though. So I'm gonna go 3.
Could be a lot better. 3. Wow.
The only thing that I will give him credit for was the earlier substitutions. Like he made his first subs in like the 55th, 60th minute. So yeah.
Hey, we're gonna end it here, guys. Catch you guys in the next video. I'm gonna be live later today at 9 o'clock for Vibes from the 6. So please do check us out at 9 o'clock, as that should be a wonderful panel of us just talking about all the weekend's games. It will be very entertaining as always, and we will catch you guys there. For now, I do appreciate everyone who's joined us. Please do hit the like button on your way out in case you haven't already done so. And Gunner Souls, thank you as always for joining me for another wonderful stream. It's the first game of the season, game 1. It's a win. What more can you ask for? Maybe a better performance, but I'm not complaining. Are you?
No, man, we got the 3 points to keep it moving. Our rivals won, we won. There's nothing to complain about.
There you go. So shout out to everybody. I'm gonna send you over now to who am I gonna redirect to? Let's see. We'll redirect to halftime hooks. So guys, go check out halftime hooks, and I'm out of here. I'm gonna head on to the terrace. Peace out, love. Don't know what it is.